From New York City, welcome to this Battle Royale, the opening day for both the round of 16 and the quarterfinals, in the final chance for any of the heavy boxers in the National Heavy Boxing League to qualify and send themselves to the playoffs in June. I'm the Gentleman's Fedora alongside Sin Synergy. Brand Flakes is out, so I'm behind the camera with you guys tonight. So forgive me if you see a little bit of delayed updates on the scoreboard as we head through the night and potentially see the camera twitch from trying to transition between and handle everything. But, you know, the show must go on, as they always say. But 7 heavy boxers come into tonight's tournament trying to qualify for the playoffs, and only 3 slots are available up for grabs. Originally, with the match selection, it was about 3 to 4 heavy boxers who were trying to qualify, but then through the backup rosters and heavy boxers dropping out, especially some last second, more of them have a chance to put themselves into the playoffs. But it's going to be difficult because the majority of them have tough opponents to go against. We start out with the opening match of the tournament between Danger Boy and Angus Beef. Angus Beef, of course, already qualifying for the playoffs, and Danger Boy, the last time that he has participated in the NHBL, you have to go back a little bit further. He was on the backup rosters throughout the rest of the season, and he's put a name for himself in NHBL history. But the big question is, can he qualify for the playoffs and try to cement his legacy for Season 10? Following that, you have Baxter, who has already qualified for the playoffs in earlier tournaments. He collides with Luna Raven, who lost in that 3-way tie-breaking scenario, the first time it ever happened in the NHBL history. Lost that between TD the Paradox and Elgato Ancestral, and as we know, Elgato took the qualification on that. Follow that by Spottin' and Bright Boy, 2 boxers who have already long ago qualified for the playoffs. Bright Boy winning several tournaments throughout Season 10. Follow that by Katia and Comfy Len, a matchup that's happened several times in the past, but Comfy Len trying to crush Katia's playoff hopes. And then continuing with TD the Paradox and Mr. Dizzy. Both of those heavy boxers, they come in trying to keep their playoff hopes alive, as neither of them have gotten into the NHBL Finals at this point. So the intensity on that match on the other side of the first commercial break in the round of 16 will be special for sure. Rage Will and the Fluffy Teddy Bear, 2 amazing boxers in the fight night scene and in the major circuit scene. Fluffy Teddy Bear with that incredible, very close, gut-clenching win against White Russian Bear 6-5 in the final of the Fisticuffs just a month ago. It's amazing to think, what is he going to do as he goes into this matchup against Rachel and through the rest of the tournament, especially because he may have a rematch with White Russian Bear, but we'll get into that in just a moment. Follow that by the matchup between Oni and Metro. Again, 2 heavy boxers. What we have now with the backup rosters is that the top right quadrant of the bracket, all 4 of those boxers have not qualified for the playoffs. So, in essence, whoever comes out of that corner will qualify for the NHBL Finals, and depending on how those round differentials go, it's going to be interesting to see which one or maybe 2 heavy boxers escape and head to the NHBL Finals in June. But Oni and Metro, both amazing heavy boxers in their own right, who are long tenured throughout the NHBL's history, looking for a chance to get back to the playoffs in June and show the NHBL what they are made of. And then the first round concludes with a matchup between Meh and White Russian Bear. Russian Bear, one of only 3 heavy boxers that has won any of the major circuit tournaments throughout the season, between him and Bright Boy. Up to the Fisticuffs, nobody else had won the major circuit tournament in Season 10 other than Bright Boy and White Russian Bear. So it'll be interesting to see, especially with Meh heading to the Final 4 in the Fisticuffs and only losing to a Fluffy Teddy Bear. It'll be interesting to see how that is in the first round. Well, partner, I've been talking on for too long. Just tell me already, what's the mentality for you going into the Battle Royale and seeing the intensity we always have in the final playoff qualification tournament? What's your mindset right now?
Woo, man, all those facts you've been spitting, it's hard to, a lot of people, it's hard to really grasp the concept of the position that a lot of boxers are put in at this time of the year. Stress is the biggest part of these boxers right now, trying to solidify themselves in the NHBL Finals in the summer. I mean, you got to imagine that tension's got to be high. For those boxers, like you mentioned, the top right-hand corner, all 4 of those boxers, you have Oni, Metro, TD, and Mr. Dizzy all trying to get a playoff spot. That's crazy. Like, that is just absurd that 2 of those boxers right there more than likely will not be moving on to the finals just because of their position in that bracket. So very tough situation for them. But then you look on the other side of the coin there, you're going to see a lot of experienced boxers here tonight who have already solidified themselves in the NHBL Finals already this tournament. But you're going to see why that they're just too good to be stopped. It doesn't matter what the situation will be. They're not going to let up by any possibility. They're going to still compete as best as they can and best as they always do. Robert Chabert is definitely going to try to keep up his momentum and his hot streak heading into the NHBL Finals. You have somebody like Fluffy Tabor, who has been hot lately down in the fight night scene. You have someone like Katya, who pretty much made their mark this season, still trying. Katya and himself still trying to get into the finals, going 0-2 so far in his first 2 meetings, but in this major circuit. But one of those boxers that you give them a shot and they might just take it. So a lot of really good, interesting scenarios. A match that I'm looking forward to too is back against Luna Raven. That is going to be a very, very underrated match. I think when you're looking at it on paper, you might say, yeah, backs Luna Raven. Yeah, we know the boxers, but why should I be excited? Well, let me tell you this. From seeing these guys, of course, boxing the major circuit, but also spending a lot of time with them down in the fight night scene. Oh, yeah, these two boxers are for real. Bax has been kind of on a different kind of turn in his fighting style recently. He's had a lot of upset losses recently. I know Bax has been determined to upset those losses there. Luna Raven, he's been down on himself recently as well. So 2 boxers there who are trying to kind of recoup from themselves from a bad break as of late to try to gain some momentum going to the finals, as Luna Raven also as well hasn't even qualified yet. So really, anything is up for grabs. This tournament is going to be great. We have a lot of great matches. So, Fedora, I don't know about you, man, but I'm pumped up and I'm ready to go. And I'm very happy, by the way, to say that I'm happy to be commentating with you today, Fedora. Not only today, but also tomorrow as well. This is like a dream come true for me. So, Fedora, let's get down to the action. Let's talk some boxing, Fedora.
You perfectly mentioned it already, and we'll get this first match in just a few moments. And I mean, you already mentioned it. We could go on and on about the accomplishments that several of the heavy boxers have had in this tournament out of the 9 who already qualified for the playoffs. And you mentioned it about Katia and Luna Raven and how they haven't qualified, and their match is cut out for them being in the same corner of the bracket as Baxter and Comfyland. But I want to focus especially on that top right quadrant of the bracket, and of course, Spottin', Bright Boy, and Angus Beef being in that corner of Danger Boy in the bottom right, that itself is going to be interesting. But let's focus on that top right quadrant of the bracket with 4 heavy boxers who, now that they know what's at stake, they know they have to get into the playoffs. What's the mentality that these guys are taking going into this tournament and trying to get past their opponent when all 4 of them in that bracket have just as even a chance as anyone else to get into the playoffs?
Well, you gotta look at veteran, right? I mean, you gotta look at the people who have been here before, been in this situation before, to maybe not have gotten into the finals yet at this point, but able to make a run at it at the very last minute. You're gonna look at Metro, and Metro especially. I mean, he's been around just as long as anyone. You're definitely gonna know that he's gonna go out hard against Oni tonight. And you're also gonna look at Mr. Dizzy too. He hasn't been active this season too much. He was actually on the backup roster. I think he was like 3rd way down, or just because we had so many people. Because we had Professor Patrick had to step out. Then we also had another backup boxer who was going to make his debut in NHBL, but he backed out. So now we have Mr. Dizzy, which that'll be a treat because we do have a lot of Mr. Dizzy fans in the community. A lot of people love Mr. Dizzy, so you're going to see him go up hard against TD. But I also want to take a moment to talk about TD as well. TD, he hasn't qualified for the finals, as we mentioned in that corner there, but don't take it away from TD. He has been boxing a few months down at Fight Night and has shown very tremendously, almost to the scale as what we saw Luke Raven as he tore up the Fight Night scene around this time of the year last year. TD has definitely improved and can give Mr. Dizzy run for his money. The biggest thing, Fedora, and you can attest to this too, because you've been around just as long as I have, actually longer than I have. Ring rust is a very, very true thing. Very, very true thing. So TD, he's going to have to be on his best against Mr. Dizzy. Metro is going up against Oni, who whoever really wins out of those brackets, right, is going to move on to the finals. I don't see anything like that, and it's going to be a good match all around because it's really all or nothing for these boxers. You can't say more than that.
I don't think it's any justice to the heavy boxers in tonight's tournament if we continue to ramble on and on just on the intro. So I think you already said it. You ready, Sins?
I'm always ready. This is gonna be fun, guys.
Danger Boy and Angus Beef will kick off the final tournament of the major circuits as they get in for their warm-up rounds. But you mentioned it already that Mr. Dr. Professor Patrick was supposed to be in here tonight, but he unfortunately took a last-second dropout, and that's where the substitution came in. And for Danger Boy, his first major circuit appearance was back in season 7 in the playoffs when he lost to the Pudis Power Movement in Dos Caras 2-1. And of course, he came this close to winning his first tournament in the major circuits of being essentially a rookie, but took that loss to Viking 34. Of course, we know the history that happened around that. But what's interesting is that he's been on the backup roster for the entirety of season 10. And he just hasn't been able to get back into the major circuit because of how many people were so interested in getting in with the NHBL's final season. So you talk about ring rust. He's got several years worth of ring rust compared to his opponent of Angus Beef.
Oh yeah, and Angus Beef has been on a tear too. I mean, he is going up from the first tournament of the season, going up to the finals against someone like White Russian Bear, a legend in NHBL. I mean, it's crazy to think that Angus Beef, if, let's just say, in a parallel universe, PD beat White Russian Bear in the finals. I mean, it's crazy that he was that close. So, really, though, I mean, Angus Beef is up there. He's a great boxer. Danger Boy, before my time, before I could really see what he was made of, I do have some stats on him, though. Let me grab them real quick here. I know Danger Boy, I mean, Season 7 was his last tournament where he was in, I believe. So, I mean, it's crazy to think that, Season 7, he lost to Dos Caras and Viking 34 in Season 7. And you know what? It's good to see old boxers returning for Season 10, right? Season 10 is a celebration of everything NHBL had to offer in all the years. So how fitting it is that the last tournament before the finals, we get someone like Danger Boy coming back in after a few seasons off. Very cool to see, and against someone like Angus Beef, who's been making a name for himself this past year. So very cool to see. Ring rust is definitely going to play a factor, but Danger Boy, he still has experience, and experience will always trump no matter what.
And the Scrap TF Battle Royale is underway between Angus Beef and Danger Boy as they both get the first punch in. Danger Boy trying to show some vintage moments in him as he gets a punch in. Angus Beef cut it back in there. Danger Boy trying to be conservative, but Angus Beef with half of his health left is going to take the first round.
Yeah, Angus Beef, you notice that both these boxers didn't go full-out aggressive at the start of that match. But that's not really the name of the game for Angus Beef, to say the least. He's a little bit more methodical in his and you see a lot of that movement by Angus Beef in that round. So a good round by Angus Beef, a good solid one, and that's definitely a good round to definitely build upon moving on into this match and possibly into the second round. It's match point, so he's just one more win from him, and he'll move on to the second round.
Round 2. Danger Boy trying to force it to the third round as he takes a swing in the air, and Angus Beef will deal it first and dealt evenly back. Angus Beef gets a second punch, and Danger Boy trying to swing in the air and get an advantage, but nothing doing as he gets back, and Angus Beef with a 2-0 sweep vanquishes Danger Boy and is moving on to the quarterfinals.
Man, it was a good showing by Danger Boy, but a couple missed punches early on kind of sealed his fate there. A little foreshadowing on that one. Angus Beef, good showing for him. Good punches. He didn't really miss a beat there in those entire matches. A good little match for Angus Beef, something to build upon going into the second round. Angus Beef is very much a momentum boxer. If he has a momentum on his side, he's going to try to strive well.
One playoff dream is unfortunately crushed for Danger Boy, and the question is, will Baxter be able to crush Luna Raven's playoff hopes, or will Luna Raven continue on to get to the quarterfinals as we see the self-proclaimed king himself back in the day, back in the earlier seasons, collides with Luna Raven, and we know the stories about Baxter, you know, Bakwa from French.
Let's go.
Yields the Dragonborn helmet, all those stories, but It's been mentioned many times before, with him coming into the boxing scene, he's held himself pretty well going from season 9 to season 10. The majority of the time, he's just been stuck with the top heavy boxers. He's made it to the quarterfinals, but losing to guys like Russian Bear, that close quarterfinal against Mel in the fisticuffs last month, and that close matchup against Razzdazzler in the European finals. It's that Baxter is a solid boxer, and that's why at the fight nights he's able to have those solid championships. It's just in the major circuit he's having a struggle.
Yeah, for sure. And if I could take a moment here to talk about what happened last year, what really brought Lunar Raven to the map here. That Boxing Mania over down at Fight Night, it was Lunar Raven making his major event debut against Koopa King, and Lunar Raven beat Koopa King very, very convincingly, and ever since then he's been on an upward swing. A couple months recently, it just hasn't been too eventful for Lunar Raven, as you see Lunar Raven trying to jump a little bit. I don't think we saw a lot of jumping last round, so it'll be interesting to see a little bit more of that jumping kind of take place. But Bax, same thing with him. I mean, 2-time Fight Night champion. He's had a pretty good season so far, all things considered. There is just one thing, and Bax will admit it too. I know he doesn't like it when I say this, but he'll admit it too. A couple of his losses he wish he had back, like Razzdazzler. A couple matches that he had with Right Russian Bear. Russian Bear's been a thorn in his side. Meh. I mean, there's a lot of matches there where he probably wish he could have back, but he, this is kind of his first full season as a boxer, right? He was a staff member previously. There's that ups and downs that every boxer has in his career. He has his up, and now he's going through his down. But guess what? Normally there's always a light at the end of the tunnel. Bax's future is very high. As we know, Bax is very committed with the boxing scene. His future is still very high for him, as does Lunar Raven. So both boxers really trying to get out of this cold spell here. Lunar Raven trying to qualify in the playoffs. I'm sure a lot here will definitely hurt his chances. So it's going to be a tough matchup regardless of how the outcome goes. It's going to be an even matchup.
Baxter and Lunar Raven kicks off, both of them charging from their corners with swings in the air. Lunar Raven gets the first punch in, but Baxter deals it right back a few seconds later. Both of them staying conservative, trying to get a punch in, evenly dealt by both around the 10 logo. As Baxter swinging a miss, Lunar Raven trying to get the punches in, and a 1-0 lead already for Lunar Raven.
Yeah, that was a pretty convincing matchup there. You know what? That match could go either way. Both boxers, really to the end there. Bax almost had Lunar Raven, but Lunar Raven, he's a resilient little bugger. I mean, as many times as people try to squash him down at Fight Night, he just keeps emerging victorious. So right now it's 1-0 for Lunar Raven, and Bax needs to try to tie this up, or it's game over for him. And Lunar Raven is one step closer from qualifying into the finals.
Baxter's only lost once in the round of 16. That was back in December, where he got swept 2-0 by Bright Boy. Does he force a third round here? Is Baxter trying to get the punches in? Lunar Raven taking the lead. Little bit conservative. Squish squash. Lunar Raven takes Baxter to the wash. Lunar Raven to the quarterfinals and one step closer to qualifying for the playoffs.
Lunar Raven soaring through the skies on that one. What a match! One second.
There's a dispute. There's a dispute from Bax.
There is a dispute. So Bax said that it was teleportation.
All right, we have decided that the dispute is going to be accepted. In the clip, we saw jittery movement and slight teleportation around. So yeah, we're gonna have a redo of that round.
And a 1-0 advantage for Lunar Raven still, as Baxter stays hesitant in his corner. Lunar Raven with the aggression, even first punch by both. Lunar Raven trying to get it in. Baxter on the more aggression, trying to force the final round, and he does. Tied up 1-1 now. First match of the round of 16 that goes to the third round.
Bax with that smart hesitation, letting Luna come in, and as soon as he did, Bax was able to get a punch off, and as soon as he did that, Bax knew he was up by 1, and from that it was just academic. He just had to hit his shots, and he did that so well that it actually beat his opponent. So Bax ties it up 1-1, and we're going to, like you said, first tiebreaker here in the first round matchup.
A trip to the playoffs potentially for Luna Raven, or a trip to a rematch with Comfy Len potentially in the quarterfinals for Baxter. As Luna tries to get that first punch in, and he hesitates a little bit, tries to get some jumping in there, and it's not helping him as he tries to swing the punches. Baxter with a clean sweep. Luna tried to use the jumps to his advantage, but couldn't aim accurately, and Baxter 2-1.
Yeah, that was, to say the least, an interesting strategy by Luna Raven. So just because of knowing how Luna Raven is, he probably was just like, you know what, I'm already down by 2. I missed my first couple punches. I'm just gonna jump. I'm just gonna jump. What's the worst that's gonna happen? I'm just gonna jump like a jumping bean and die while I'm doing it. But it looks like there's so it's gonna be 2-0 or 2-1 for Bax. Bax moves on. And good for Bax, though. He definitely needed something to kind of have a momentum switch for his side.
Yeah. Whoever wins this match collides with Angus Beef. It's Spaten and Bright Boy. And what more can we say about Bright Boy at this point? You know, the noodle arms, the Peruvian, the fireworks going off so much in Peru anytime he wins a tournament. And what's interesting, especially, you mentioned earlier, up until the fisticuffs, it was only Bright Boy and White Russian Bear that had won any of the tournaments in Season 10. For Bright Boy, you know, winning the losing in the backyard brawl to Russian Bear swooping there, won the Clash 6-4 against Fluffy Teddy Bear, and winning the Natasha Heavyweight Championship against Comfy Len 6-5. It's interesting, especially because he's faced multiple boxers, but when it comes down to the closer matches in the final or in the super semis, he's only faced Russian Bear, Fluffy Teddy Bear, and Comfy Len when it comes to those clutch situations. So if history repeats itself, Bright Boy could be going farther than the first round, but he's got a really tough opponent in Spaten to be able to achieve that.
Yeah, but Bright Boy's been in this situation plenty of times throughout his short career, going up to big names in his career, and you know what, most of the time he was able to look, at least if he lost, look really good losing. So I think Bright Boy's definitely got a good fighting chance. Obviously, he already won a tournament this season. So I mean, he's already doing really well. He won, of course, the Clash. So I mean, and he's also, I failed to mention, even though I should have mentioned it, he's the Natasha Heavyweight Champion, of course. So it doesn't matter who he's facing up against. It's Bright Boy. He has solidified himself to the point where he is with the names of like Spaten, of like Metro, even up to the names of like White Russian Bear in terms of boxing status. He is a champion. He is a Natasha Heavyweight Champion. He should be able to go up against anybody on the NHBL roster and be able to compete with them every single time. It's just the fact of the matter, right? So Spaten, with his, he has a lot of experience, where Bright Boy has a very short experience. But if you also want to look, Bright Boy has been a lot more successful than Spaten has been in just his short year than Spaten did in a lot of his career. Not a jab at Spaten, just shows you what Bright Boy is able to do in such a short time.
Round 1 between Bright Boy and Spaten begins. Bright Boy the more eager to charge as Spaten jumps in with a flailing punch, and just like that, with another jump, Spaten gets the victory. That flailing punch benefited him so well, and he's got the advantage.
Wow, I mean, that's a little uncharacteristic for Bright Boy to kind of flub up a punch like that, but nonetheless, Spaten will take that every single day and twice on Sunday. No, 4 times on Sunday, because Spaten is going to let that go away. Spaten is very good at punishing his opponents when they make a mistake. That's why Spaten has a move made out of him. And what's that move called, Fedora, when he gets around an opponent, when he loses track of him? What's that called?
I think it's called the alligator spin. I think it's the alligator spin. Am I right, Spaten?
It's the gator roll. I give you one job off. Alcatraz, please, for God's sakes.
Okay,
I'm renaming it to the Barack Obama Shuffle.
No, that's not. No.
No shortage of memes here in the National Heavy Boxing League. 1-0 advantage for Spaten as Bright Boy staying with his conservative layout and gets a jump in. Spaten staying more hesitant, but gets the first punch in, dealt back evenly. Both of them even as Bright Boy Gets the punch in. That was so crucial for Spot to miss that punch. And Bright Boy, perfect dodge, ties it up 1-1.
Man, that crocodile rotation, a Barack Obama spitting, alligator rolling, whatever you want to call it, I think Bright Boy just did that to Spaten as he tried to go around Spaten that entire time, and actually his last punch was actually on Spaten's side as Spaten was facing the ropes. And now I've been around for a while, but I can tell you that that's probably not a good position to be at when you're facing the ropes and not your opponent. Nonetheless, Bright Boy ties it up 1-1. This is a very good match, guys.
Sure, Angus Beef is watching their movements very closely. Who is he going to face? Is it going to be Spaten or Bright Boy? First punch in by Spaten. Bright Boy deals it back. Bright Boy getting the advantage. Spaten trying to get in, and Bright Boy with a down 1-0, 2-0 sweep, reverse sweep. Angus Beef is going to collide with the Peruvian in the next round.
Man, Bright Boy. Whew. I know it's warm weather. Man, he is hot, man. He is on fire. The top heavyweight champion getting it done against someone like Spaten. Like I said at the opening, Bright Boy, he's now a champion here, a major circuit champion. He has to fight like one, and tonight he proves it once again. That doesn't matter where you're from, not even from Peru, you could still box with someone like Spaten. So good job for Bright Boy.
Now we have the matchup that was originally supposed to be Comfy Len and Katia. Katia dropped out last second as we were in a transition commercial break. So now Penguineer has the chance to qualify for the postseason here. Since you have a little bit of a connection with Penguineer, as you two are both gentlemen with the who are, as it's referred to. So both of you guys have that connection. As I guess they're coming for their warm-up rounds. They're taking their precious time between the former Natasha heavyweight champion and Penguineer. As here we go, but you have a connection with Penguineer. You guys have expressed some warm words before. What makes Penguineer so special other than the who are?
Well, obviously the Who-Are plays a big factor as Comfy Len beats my Who-Are buddy. But yeah, no, Penguineer, so this changes the whole dynamic of this match, right? Comfy Len was going into this thinking, okay, Katia hasn't qualified the finals, Comfy Len, being as he is, he's probably like, you know what, yeah, this should probably be a pretty, very standard match for him. Going up against Penguineer, yeah, haven't had a lot of experience thus far, but the experiences that he had, by the way, just to show, Penguineer, you got a who-are, so do I. You look great, buddy, and so do I. Okay, come on, I'm getting out, Jesus. Maybe not. There I am. So, but yeah, so really though, for the Penguineer's limited experience, he has shown a lot why, he can probably hang out with a lot of the good boxers. So don't be surprised here of what Penguineer can try to do. Comfy Len might get a run for his money. And also a side note, Comfy Len, again, one of the boxers that has lost a lot more recently than he's won. So both boxers trying to obviously make a good impression. Penguineer trying to get into the trying to get into the finals, I think. Yep. So I mean, it's going to be a good match. I think it's going to be a really competitive match now that Penguineer's involved against Comfy. Watch out for this one. Might go the distance.
Yeah, Penguineer managed to beat Oni in the round of 16 of the Kritzcast Clash 2-1, and he hasn't gotten past that second round of any of the tournaments at this point. He's also in the European Finals, and he just hasn't been able to get past that second round. And Comfy Len, he hasn't been able to win a tournament this year. He won the Natasha Heavyweight Championship and has been pretty standard up there, but a loss in the round of 16, 1, 2, 3 times throughout the season, a loss in the quarterfinals of the Boxing Day Classic, and that's how he qualified for the playoffs. But this is, especially with that close loss to Bright Boy in the European Finals in late January, this is one of those matchups where both of them have something to prove, but Penguineer is fighting for his playoff life.
Yeah, and like you said, Comfy Len, this season has not been kind to him. Boxers that on paper should do well against Comfy, or Comfy to do well against, just hasn't been in favor. But let's see tonight, see if Comfy Len can prove himself why he is still the Salt Heavyweight champion.
Let's see if Penguineer could pull off the upset, or Comfy Len will see if he'll advance with yet another rematch against Bax. Even first punch by both, the swing and a miss by Penguineer. possibly an advantage here for Comfyland as they get the punches in. As Penguineer was trying to jump away, Comfyland punched him outside of the ropes. It's a 1-0 advantage for the third Natasha Heavyweight Champion.
Yeah, so the Comfyland definitely noticed that Penguineer was probably going to try to bounce back a little bit to try to get away from Comfyland, and Comfyland knew that was going to happen, pushed up against Penguineer, and was able to get that last hit. Was very crucial. Penguineer was able to dodge that and get out of dodge, get what I did there. Then that might have changed the complexity of the match just a little bit, but Comfyland had the wherewithal to finish that off before Penguineer can try something else. So good on Comfyland for that one. It's 1-0.
Again, Penguineer not able to get out of the round of the second round as he takes some punch advantage, gets it in, and Penguineer, just as I talk about his history, it's a 1-1 tie. Penguineer keeping it close with Comfyland.
Man, Penguineer, it's not luck, right? It's skill. I mean, when you look back of all the matches that Penguineer has had, a lot of people want to maybe think that, oh, well, he got lucky there. It's not luck. It's the who-are. I mean, it's skill. It's skill, and Penguineer has got it. And for a short time here, he is looking good. Obviously, because he's wearing a who-are, but like he's looking good inside the ring, going up against someone like Comfyland and giving him the run for his match. I told you it might go the distance, and here we are. It's 1-1.
Comfyland trying to show his stock nature as Penguineer gets the first punch in, trying to deal it back, swing and a miss. Penguineer missed a crucial punch, and with one to give, Comfyland shows he didn't need all the miss that Penguineer had, and he's going to rematch with Bax for the 25th time.
Comfyland thinking that he's at some kind of you think Comfyland. He's thinking that he's at prom, right? He's doing his little dance, he's doing a little, moving his feet because he had that footwork like he was dancing around his opponent. What a dodge by Comfyland that is just grade 8, certified 100%. Great right there by Comfyland. Next round.
You can see the ill will that Baxter and Comfyland have for each other.
Oh, that rivalry!
Yeah,
that rivalry stands so deep between those two.
You saw Rage Will as well there, showing some support to the Fight Night competitor there as they get back into the lockers and everything. But
Bax will be going up against Comfyland in the second round. So, oh my gosh, what a good match that's going to be! Again, they're going to be fighting.
Did I get the number right? 25 times they faced off against each other. Is that? Can somebody keep a stat on that? It's in
listen,
the 20s.
I stopped counting after 10. Okay, it's so many times, but every time they're in a match, it steals the show. I can't wait. But we have more matches in the first round. Can you believe that?
We have TD the Paradox and Mr. Dizzy colliding here. Both of them substitutes here in this tournament. Of course, TD the Paradox substituting for Random Puncher, who's still having PC issues. Random Puncher did tell me this is going to be the last tournament that his PC is not functioning, which is a good sign because he does have, from now, he has until June, about 2-3 months to fix the situation. But Mr. Dizzy was in for Elgato Ancestral, who was having back to leading up to the broadcast start time. And both of these boxers, they've had their struggles throughout the season. You look at TD, he lost in that three-way tie to Elgato, and that was his first appearance in the major circuit. And for Dizzy, he was in the European Finals, lost to Bright Boy 3-2, lost in the backyard brawl to Baxter in the round of 16. So both these boxers, they've had their struggles and haven't been able to get past the quarterfinals, but if there's any time for there to get past it, it's now when the playoffs are on the line.
Yeah, I mean, better late than never, right? Both of these boxers, going into the final, that's their main goal, to just get out of this first round, get out of this bracket that they're in. I mean, it's a tough tournament they're in. TD has to be on his A game against someone like Master Dizzy, who will make you dizzy after that. He likes to go around his opponent and just make you want to do just. Oh, it's crazy. But we all, like I said, we have a lot of Mr. Dizzy fans as well. He's a very likable person. Going up against TD, both boxers can do pretty well in the ring. But yeah, it's just it's fortunate and also unfortunate that they're in that corner bracket, because that just makes getting to the finals just so much more difficult.
Yeah, and again, that corner, as of right now, with the I tell you, the disrespect already and trying to distract there, it's It's getting
Yeah, you
to that
could be.
point.
Those nematodes.
It's either the nematodes or the anchovies, one of the two that are affecting TD at this point.
Fedora, do you smell that? Do you smell that? It smells like... No, it smells like Mr. Dizzy, because he made the sound. Anyways, yeah, I mean, and you're seeing, as the event goes on, your boxers trying to jump and all that, and most of the time, it's not been working well for him. You almost saw it work well for Penguineer. The best way to use the jumping technique, I think a lot of boxers want to try to do, is jump while they're attacking, when probably the best thing is to jump while you're dodging, so... There's a little tidbit for you boxers. You're welcome. You can pay me after the event. But...
TD the Paradox and Mr. Dizzy set to collide as Dizzy more on the center of the ring as Paradox tries to jump out of that punch. It didn't succeed him there. Couldn't get a hook punch in the air. Dizzy just keeping conservative here. Down to the final punch. And Mr. Dizzy, the Wario Man at his best, is taking the first round.
Wow, that was, you see Bright Boy trying to use jumping to his tactics there. He was timing him well, and it actually went down to the last punch. It was just up to the fact that Mr. Dizzy was just a little bit of a better boxer in that one. Really, I mean, it was pretty even between both boxers, between TD and Master Dizzy. So, right now it's 1-0 for Dizzy, for the Wario person from, what is it, Switzerland? Somewhere over there. I can't remember.
He's Franco-Swiss, yeah.
Franco-Swiss, yeah. So, good for him, and it's 1-0.
Round 2 as the Paradox, who was in that last round situation for the playoff qualification, trying to keep his playoff hopes alive as it's even punches. TD has it in his corner, gets the first punch in, tries to get a jumping hook punch in. Nothing doing. Dizzy is going to take the 2-0 sweep.
Incredible matchup by Dizzy. Pretty convincing win, and it'll be kind of interesting how the next round he try to keep up the momentum. As we know, he's not, a really active boxer as of late. But Dizzy goes out of the corner there, which is good for him, and I believe that leaves TD out of the contention for a playoff spot, which is disheartening to say the least. But he put up a good fight and a good valiant effort. So, but at the end of the day, Mr. Dizzy wins it 2-0.
And now we go to two heavy boxers who qualified very early on for the postseason, but anytime they collide, it is very close-knit. Rage Will and a fluffy teddy bear, and you look at the absolutely horrifying sandwich head that Rage Will has on his head, and you see it's instead this time it's the bulldozer from Payday 2, who has very much had a tear in the recent stints. But let's talk about Fluffy Teddy Bear and the momentum he's got. He's the champion of the fisticuffs in that so close championship matchup. Fisticuffs 65 over Russian Bear. And from that point, he was on a losing streak. He lost in the round of 16 to Russian Bear, lost in the final of the Clash to Bright Boy, lost in the final of the Boxing Day Classic to Russian Bear. So between going back and forth between Bright Boy and Russian Bear, and then Russian Bear, and then Russian Bear again, Fluffy is looking to get another tournament win to give even more momentum heading into the postseason.
Oh yeah, and I mentioned this on the air a couple of times. The biggest difference in Fluffy is not, and yeah, he's been training at fight, but the biggest difference that he has had this year than in previous years, he's been having a lot of fun. I mean, he's been doing a lot of stuff that, he's been doing with like Bulldozer Payday 2. He's doing a lot of mashups that you see at Fight Night with the songs and all that stuff, and I think it's resonated well in his play. He's played well, and to the point where he even won the last tournament. So I mean, Fluffy Teddy Bear, he is a good boxer, and going up against Rage Will, he is at a quick momentum burst as well. Being a Fight Night champion back when at the special Fight Night Discord event that we had in January. So both boxers know each other super well. It's going to be a good match, probably down to the wire as they get ready for their last warm-up round. And you know what? As much as I've seen these guys both box, it's a touching moment to have these guys both fight. Of course, in the last regular tournament before the finals. So it's going to be a good match regardless, no matter who wins.
The Bulldozer announces his soundboard, and Rage Will gets the first punch in this match as Rage Will trying to deal it back in. What a dominant showing from Rage Will, just did not back up, kept punching over and over again, commits cannibalism with that sandwich, and now a 1-0 lead.
Yeah, what Rage Will did to Fluffy Tabor was a kind of a new strategy Rage Will was doing. It's called backing your opponent to the corner and then just punching the crap out of them. And you know what? I don't know if that's a good name for it. It probably needs to be shorter. But, like, regardless, it worked out for him. Only one punch remaining, so it was a lot closer match than I think a lot of people want to give credit for. Regardless, though, Rage was up 1-0. Crucial.
Berserker Will, I like that.
For Rage Will. As people are giving him names to name what I just said. Again, if you want to pay me after the event, DM me. You can pay me.
I ain't paying you nothing, since.
Rage Will, nope, not get into it. Take it away.
Come on, then. Come on.
Rage Will trying to get past Fluffy Teddy Bear in the first round. Can he manage it? He's got some punches in. Rage Will might have the advantage here as Fluffy leads him on. Punch in there as Rage Will jumps back, trying to get another punch in. And with one punch to give, Fluffy Teddy Bear baits him in, gets another punch, and 1-1 tie.
Yeah, Fluffy Teddy Bear kind of told Rage Will, you know what, bud, I really don't appreciate you trying to beat me up into a corner like that, so I'm just going to beat you up even worse. So Fluffy Teddy Bear, the bulldozes over his opponent, Rage Will, 1-1, and you know what? I wouldn't blame him. I'd also eat the head off of his heavy character. It's horrifying. It is horrifying. It's delicious.
Round 3, the tiebreaker between Rage Will and Fluffy Teddy Bear as they both get their punches in. Rage Will trying to take the advantage. It gets the final punch! What an upset! Rage Will 2-1 over Fluffy Teddy Bear.
Man, Rage Will. I don't know if they make aimbot for punching. I doubt they do, but oh my goodness.
It's the computer, Sins!
It's a new computer. Rage Will's computer. The way that Rage Will turned to his left immediately got Fluffy Teddy Bear to where I don't think Fluffy Teddy Bear was realizing that Rage Will could even do something like that. I think took that for granted, and it paid off for Rage Will. 2-1. I want to say it's a little bit of an upset just for the fact that Fluffy Teddy Bear has been on that tear recently, but Rage Will going to the second round, good for him. And yeah, I mean, Rage Will, good for him. I'm proud of you, Rage Will, even though you drive
Love you too,
crazy.
Sins. Now here's my card.
Wait, what? Oh! There's like $68 a Chipotle card.
No,
hey,
Sins. It's the pink slip. I pink slipped myself.
Yeah. Well, I don't apply those. You have to look at the guy next to me.
I also noticed he has those alien eyes peeking out of his sandwich in addition to the olive eyes on top of the sandwich.
I got
so
eyes in the back of my head.
That probably was what intimidated Fluffy Teddy Bear in the end. But Rage Will collides with eyes. You're absolutely
it's like an
right.
ant. They don't have eyes, they have antennas. What am I thinking? Good lord.
Rage will face off against either Meh or White Russian Mare in the quarterfinals, but Mr. Dizzy awaits the winner of Oni and Metro. These two heavy boxers collide here as Metro and Oni. Again, this corner of the bracket, both of these boxers have had struggles in their own right. Oni, of course, he's been on a losing streak. He has not gotten past the round of 16 in any of the tournaments he's been in. And Metro, you talk about ring rust. He only participated in the quarterfinals of the clash where he beat Fluffy Teddy Bear 3-2. And because of that, the ring rust is more so on Metro's side, but Oni, he has the experience. He just hasn't been able to get past anybody in the first round.
Yeah, and that's the problem. And I think that also, like how Raz Dazzler, how he had a lot of trouble last season getting out in the first round because he had to face really good opponents in the first round. And I think that's the same thing. I want to say that's probably the same thing. The same thing for Oni as well. Oni losing the first round to TD, who's been on an upswing. Penguineer, who we've seen earlier, give Cumberland the business all up to the very end. Angus Beef he lost to. So I mean, it's tough opponents, but Metro doesn't get any easier, as we all know. So I mean, it's going to be a good one. And both boxers, especially for someone like Metro, who is if he doesn't win tonight, he'll be his final appearance in the major circuit. We don't like that. We don't want to see that. We want to see him go as far as he can. We all love Metro. I'm a big Metro fan. Everyone knows that. Everyone's a Metro fan. If someone's not a Metro fan, and I'll tell you why you're silly. Now, this match is going to be good. Without a shadow of a doubt. You even saw a little bit in the warm-ups of how they tried to jump up a little bit too. So you're probably going to see a lot of that in this matchup, which will be fun to see.
And a quick NHBL story for you. Many seasons ago, we allowed jumping in Season 2. Metro punched one of his opponents and knocked his opponent back into the stands because he was jumping while he was getting punched. And he got knocked all the way back into the stands outside of the ring. So jumping was barred from the NHBL, and then it was brought back in about Season 7. Or around Season 7 or Season 6 after it being broken for several seasons. So Metro is very familiar with the jumping scheme and how it can be a disadvantage, but it can also be a benefit. And Oni, Oni of course has been around for a few seasons, so it's not a mystery for the jumping situation for Oni, but got something to deal with here as Metro. I think it's fair to say that almost everybody is rooting for Metro in this case, with at least for him to qualify for the playoffs and have that chance to be able to go for the Sash Heavyweight Championship, especially because of how long he's been in the NHBL and not getting a tournament win. So everyone is rooting for him. Start of Oni and Metro does a kind of a leapfrog thing where he's just jumping and Oni staying still in the corner. Little bit of an intimidation factor attempt here as Metro gets the first punch dealt evenly back to Oni as they try to get their punches in. Metro takes the fall. Oni 1-0 up.
Metro was just working on his glutes, okay? He was working on those hammies. He was just stretching out. He would do jumping jacks if, the game would let him. But no, Oni, had a good matchup there. There's not really a whole lot to talk about. It's pretty standard stuff there. Oni was able to get more punches into Metro. In fact, if you do the math, that's how you win boxing matches. You do more punches than your opponent. You see why I do play-by-play? It's really easy for me just to talk about what happens, but to describe what happens, it's like, oh my goodness. But anyways, I digress. Good match so far. Oni's up 1-0 against
Metro trying to force it to the final round as Metro does the jumping strategy again. Oni joins in with him just a little bit of... Can someone play the jump? He gets the punch in as Metro has an advantage, gets the punch up, trying to get the best of Oni, and he does! 1-1. Metro forces it to the third round.
Glutes! The glutes ties it up! Metro 1-1. Oh, and you saw the jumping, a little bit of a different, he got baited into jumping. Yes, a new strategy has been formed, baiting the opponent to jump by jumping. But nonetheless, it worked for Metro. It worked. It's 1-1. However, it was a pretty close matchup, all things either. Metro was even only down by 2 hits, so good matchup here. It's another tiebreaker. That's a lot of matchups tonight that we've seen go to the tiebreaker, and every one of them has been great. So I'm sure we'll see another good one.
1-1. Who's going to the playoffs and whose dreams are going to be crushed as Metro just jumps in his own corner. Oni not moving a muscle. Let's see if the workout of the glutes is going to help Metro here.
The
glutes. He jumps around. The glutes. Yes, the glutes as Metro tries to get an opening, and Oni now with some movement in the corner. Metro gets the first punch in on Oni, gets another punch.
Oh, no.
Metro trying to get something going as he jumps again, trying to bait him in. So Oni just more hesitant. The glutes. Is it going to help here? Oni just staying as he's thinking, no, it's not going to help me here. He's saying
he's
no.
down by 2 hits. The glutes are just overpowering.
As the punch goes in from Oni to Metro, dealt back, and Metro is headed to the next round. Metro with a 1-0 disadvantage takes it 2-1. He collides with Mr. Dizzy in the next round.
Let me get my boxing handbook here real quick. All right, let me look through the pages here. Yeah, no, there's no chapter for how you defend someone who's just jumping. There's no, I'm looking through my chapters here. There's a little bit of factoid of Ridge's fact book in here. Something about a Barack Obama rule. Did you change that spot? Anyways, listen, very good matchup there by Metro. Literally, all he did was confuse his opponent. And it worked. I don't know what to say. I mean, it's good stuff. And speaking about using I can't talk now. Using strategies that work even though they shouldn't. We have Meg going in this match, who we saw in the last tournament, Fedora. He actually baited himself into the corner and won his matches that way, which has never been done. So, these newer boxers, man, I swear.
Yeah, their strategies have been incredible. Congratulations to Metro. He collides with Mr. Disney in the quarterfinals. But I think there's a reason why this is the highlight match or the final match of the round of 16. Meh and Russian Bear. You know what happened in the last tournament with Meh, where he won against Baxter in that really close quarterfinal. Both of them onto the playoffs by them winning there. But of course, in the Super Semis, that was Meh's major circuit debut. Lost 4-2 to Fluffy Teddy Bear, who went on to win the tournament, so not too shabby for your major circuit debut. It almost gave a vibe of Stanvich in the incredible run he had in the Clash of Season 9. But Russian Bear, I mean, he looks almost completely unstoppable. It's just the first time he's ever been stopped in the tournaments he's participated in this season was a month ago, 6-5 against Fluffy Teddy Bear, and it came down to one round. If there's a match where you're going to see a Titan versus a hot streak rookie, essentially in the major circuit, it's right here, right now.
Yeah, and if you look on his around Meh's waist, you could see the newly redesigned, repainted Fight Night Championship around his waist. Meh, the Fight Night champion, looking to make Fight Night proud as well. And you know what? It's going to be a good man. It really is a testament of how far we come as a league. You know, how we had earlier, how we had a rookie going, or a rookie, I should say, a rookie going up against a veteran boxer earlier in this tournament. We've seen that a couple times. Well, this is definitely the cream of the crop when it comes to rookie and veteran. Of course, Ryron Chabert, being a former Solid champion, former Fight Night champion, longest reigning Fight Night champion, by the way, at 140 days, going up against the current Fight Night champion, someone like you said in the major circuit, has been untethered, unleashed. Meh has been. So Meh has literally been looking at his opponents and just saying, meh, and just kicking their butts. Like, it's no joke. And the way that he does it is unique. He'll trap himself into the corner on purpose to defeat his opponents. I've never seen before, ever in boxing, and it worked. And it worked to its full extent in the last tournament. So this is going to be a very hard test for Meh, and it's going to be a very good match as these guys exchange high fives in the ring.
First round between Meh and Russian Bear, as Russian gets the immediate jump and Meh capitalizes on it with the first punch, trying to get it in. The punches both, and Meh and Russian were down to one punch each. He tried to deal it in there. Russian Bear, just the vintage moment comes out in him.
Yeah, and you know what? That's pretty much writing on the wall for Russian Bear. We've seen that so many times with Russian Bear, just that clean victory. Nothing doing it for that. And you know what? 1-0 for Russian Bear. And Matt, though, had some glimpses of good strategy, but haven't seen that corner strategy yet. We'll have to see if he pulls that out here in this next round.
Matt trying to prevent the clean sweep, and Russian Bear trying to set a date with Ragewell in the quarterfinals later tonight. First punch in by Matt, dealt evenly back by Russian. Matt trying to get the punches in, get something in. It's down to that, and Matt will tie it up 1-1. He had a punch advantage, held onto it, and it's headed to the third round.
Yeah, what a good little matchup there. And like I said, another tiebreaker here, and I wouldn't want it any other way. Is there a way, please, for God Almighty, someone please accidentally type the best out of 7 or best out of 11 into the tournament bracket so maybe Fedora doesn't realize it after I just said by playing out loud. Either way, I think this match, if it was going on a little bit longer, I don't think people would be upset at all. Two very tough boxers going at it in a very entertaining matchup.
Matt was a little bit giddy in this corner to get there. Didn't leave it, just moving around a little bit as Matt gets the first punch in. And Russian Bear staying conservative. He knows that he's down. He has to be careful with that. Matt getting another punch in. Russian has to pull off a miracle here. He's done it before as he gets another punch in. Trying to keep it close as Matt trying to deal it. Swing in the air. Swing in the air. Russian Bear. Another punch there. And Matt, even with it, giving back the punches to Russian. Man, with a 2-1 victory, is headed against Rachel in the quarterfinals.
Where's my defibrillator? Oh, good lord! What a turn of events! Oh, couple of good dodge punches early on by Ben, and he finished him off and the boxers in the back are cheering him on. We don't see that often. Man, just banquet. The bear known as White Russian Bear, and the referees are trying to keep him control, but the boxers are so hyped for men. A lot of men supporters in the locker room.
In this case, let them have their fun. That's the first time White Russian Bear has lost in the round of 16 this season. Spogo say, what the hell do you want me to do? But this is the first time in the season that Russian Bear has lost in the first round, so justly so. You could still hear some of them out of ammo on their miniguns spinning and everything, but the upset has been pulled off. Rage will better be scared when he's facing off against Meh in the second round here, but wow, I can't think of a better way to conclude the first round.
Oh my goodness, like I said, give these guys more rounds and they will entertain you. They will knock your socks off. Meh, the Fight Night champion, the rookie of the major circuit, dethroning a former Sasha heavyweight champion. Like you said, no way better to end the first round as we head into the second round of more entertaining boxing action.
Royale, gentlemen, alongside here from New York City. So, quick announcement, not to take away from the quarterfinals, but by virtue of the qualification process for the playoffs, Baxter, Comfy Len, Ragewell, Meh, and Bright Boy and Angus Beef, they have all qualified for the postseason in previous tournaments. So, by virtue of that, Metro and Mr. Dizzy, congratulations, you two are headed to the playoffs, but tomorrow, before the start of the Super Semis and the final of the Scrap TF Battle Royale, we are having another three-way tie because of the Boxers getting one-round victory in the round of 16. So Oni, Luna Raven, and Penguineer will collide to determine who is going to take that third and final slot in the NHBL Finals. So that's real quick, since those three boxers, I mean, Luna Raven's been in the situation before the qualification process, but between those three, it's even more of a clutch situation for them to try and qualify for the postseason.
Oh my gosh, absolutely. I mean, that's the end goal, really, especially for those boxers. Just try to get into the finals. The finals is the big deal. It's the Super Bowl of the NHBL, quite frankly. So you definitely your biggest hurdle right now is just two other people, and if you beat those two other people, you'll get a spot. And it'll be an entertaining match to say the least. But like you said, not taken away from the quarterfinals. Still got plenty of boxing here tonight, and a good matchup we're probably going to see against Angus Beef. And I saw Peruvian Bulldozers, because I think Fluffy Teddy Bear wants a little bit at Bright Boy, it looks like. Those two got a little history. So, I mean, it's going to be a good match between these two. Both really competitive boxers. Fluffy has been on a roll as of late. Angus Beef has been on a roll this entire season. So, it'll be a really interesting match, a very competitive match. Another one that just could go the distance. I believe it's 3 out of 5.
Yep, 3 out of 5 in the quarterfinals for both of these.
So it's going to be, so it's going to be, could be down the wire and could be entertaining. So, it'll be, can't wait to see this match.
The sound of the bell.
And the round begins between the Peruvian Bulldozer and Angus Beef in a 2-2. As the first punch goes down by Angus Beef, swing and a miss there in the middle of the ring. Should be about dead even now. As the Bulldozer a little spin as he gets the punches in, trying to get it down to the wire. Angus Beef gets a punch in, trying to get the last one. And Angus Beef on a 1-0 advantage. The spin move did not benefit the Peruvian this time.
Man, it is crazy how tried to get the last punch in, and it just didn't work. And for Angus Beef, he lucked out. He lucked out in that one, and he was able to get the win off of him on that one, off of the Peruvian Bulldozer. And now he's a Yeti. Now he's a Yeti, everybody. So everyone, please laugh because it's a monkey. And so there we go.
The Peruvian Bulldozer is taking the stance of reject human, embrace monkey. And the 2-2 Angus Beef says, reject human, embrace beef. As they go in the center of the ring with the even punch for both. Angus Beef trying to hold back here as he has a swing in the air and miss, gets another punch in, trying to get something up and manages to get it there, tries to get another swing in on Bright Boy. It's down to the final one for both. Who's it going to be? Swing and a miss. Angus Beef trying to get it in. It's coming down to the wire, and it's Angus Beef 2-0. Angus baited him in towards the NHBL 10 logo, and he's got a 2-0 advantage over Bright Boy.
Angus Beef looked at Bright Boy and said, would you like some fries with this, Beef? And took him out of the play of that one. 2-0 for Angus Beef, and both times that last hit just did not connect. And man, Angus Beef, I don't want to say lucked out on this one. This was his skill. Went down to the wire. 2-0 going up against Bright Boy. And Bright Boy said he's getting out the beast. So you're telling me the Yeti's not a beast. Okay, I got to write that on my notes here. It is. Oh my goodness! It's a Peruvian Yeti bulldozer.
The Yeti dozer has arrived. I believe that's what they call a southern hello. As Angus Beef gets the first punch in, dealt evenly back by Bright Boy, as Bright Boy has to get a reverse sweep here if he can get it done. Angus Beef trying to deal his punches and misses several times. Can Bright Boy take advantage of it? No! 3-0 sweep. Angus Beef is headed to the Super Semis, and now you know what this means, Sins. We will not have Fluffy Teddy Bear, Russian Bear, nor Bright Boy win the Battle Royale. Someone differently is going to win the final tournament, the final open tournament in the major circuit.
Angus Beef defeating the Natasha Heavyweight Champion. That in itself is crazy. The fact that he beat Bright Boy wearing what he was wearing is crazy. 3-0 sweep, and might as well just forget everything that ever exists. Angus Beef moves on to the semis, and I guess in a surprise fashion. I mean, it wasn't even. I'd say it was close, but in the end, it wasn't close. Angus Beef dominating victory.
Now we head to the other side of the bracket for matchup number probably 25, 20, something around that range.
34, 39, 46.
Or Sins' favorite number, 50. Probably 50. One of those. So Baxter and Comfy Lead are set to collide here for this next matchup. Someone named themselves Limitless Luna Raven, so I don't know if that's well,
no, that is Luna Raven.
Okay.
That was Luna Raven just wanted to fight back again like usual.
Your tiebreaker match is tomorrow, Luna.
Yeah, your triple threat match is tomorrow, or your round robin match is tomorrow.
Not a triple threat. Not a triple threat. We saved those for fight night.
Sorry, I thought that was fight night. Sorry, my bad. Put your Persian Persuader away, Fluffy. I'm sorry. It was a warning. I'm sorry. Put it away. My bad. Back against Cupulin, you know. Fluffy, or Fedora, you know that I have a bucket.
Go!
Yes, we all know.
Everyone knows I have a bucket. Well, I actually on the back of...
Boxers, I'm going to ask you to stop wasting time for everyone. Please stop killing yourself in the ring. Just get down to business. We still got a couple matches left. Thank you very much.
So I'm at the back of my bucket. I counted how many times these guys fought, and I ran out of bucket space. You know, Fedora, that I have a pretty big bucket. So, why are people telling me to shut up and chat? Listen here, okay? You know what? If I want to talk about my bucket on chat, I can talk about my bucket on chat. Listen, these two guys. Oh, wow, whoa.
The Kings.
Let's go.
King Baxter. As you all know, Bax has a lot of personas, but Cupulin also has a lot of personas that he likes to use on Bax. This is the stuff that we've seen, how this rivalry unfolds throughout the entire year. King Baxter making a return against King Comfy. I don't even know what to call it, but yeah, both of these boxers. It's not a one-sided rivalry either. Both of these boxers have beat each other up so many times that they both traded victories so many times. Both former two-time Fight Night champions, and they have faced in big matches. Big matches. Of course, Cupulin is reigning Natasha Heavyweight Champion. So, I mean, this rivalry is big. This matchup is big. And we should just thank goodness that we are able to see them at least one more time before NHBL is closing.
Yeah, it's incredible to see. The interesting part as well, Baxter in his boxing career has at least in season 10, he has not made it to the super semis. I believe he got past that point towards the end of season 9, but so far he has not gotten to the super semis. He's gotten close in the quarterfinals with the boxers he faced off against. But with Comfy Len, he's had almost the same slump other than the Natasha Heavyweight Championship in the European Finals. He hasn't gotten past the quarterfinals in any of the other U.S.-based tournaments, so it'll be interesting to see how this rivalry plays out and how the collision of kings is going to go here between King Baxter and King Lenny. This is going to be one of the matchups for the ages, especially considering this is for a chance to go to the super semis and for a chance to get closer to a tournament win.
Yeah, and both boxers are definitely able to do that. Comfy Len, as we've seen, done that plenty of times before. Gonna be a good one. And if you haven't seen a Comfy Len and Bax match, I'm gonna ask you, where were you the other 46,134 times this happened? Huh? These guys even had an eviction notice match, okay? And for some reason, they still made that entertaining. I don't get it. This is going to be a good match. Sit back, relax, and let's watch Comfy Len against Bax one time.
Here we go, the second quarterfinal between Baxter Comfy Len and the overall 20-something meeting between these two boxers. As Baxter gets the first punch in, Comfy Len deals it right back. Comfy Len trying to get it back in, and Baxter with the hook, down by only one punch left to give, takes the victory for the first round.
Yeah, 1-0 for Bax. A good little start for Bax. Comfy Len, though, it's going to be that one win is obviously crucial because you just need 2 more to move on. But it's so crucial, too, for these boxers to, for Comfy Len to get back into this. Because as we know, once Bax gets on a roll, you can't stop him. So it's 1-0 for Bax. And we'll see how this next round plays out.
1-0 advantage for Baxter as they both go out to the center of the ring. Just another evenly dealt punch by both. Baxter with the punches in, trying to take an advantage as Comfy Len is just standing down, staring him down, and ties it up 1-1.
Wow, Comfy Len with the 1-1 tie. Even matchup. We've seen it so many times between these two boxers. Just even fights, fighting going on between these two.
Your Sherwin-Williams job is coming out there, since.
No, I was looking at a picture of Phil Swift and Flex.
Nice,
I got entranced.
What part of we don't have sponsors do you not get?
Oh.
Sorry, real ones.
All right, it is currently 1-all.
That's a lot of damage.
You're a lot of damage. Please let me have my mic.
The match that smiles back, Goldfish. Here we
Wow.
go. Comfy Len and Baxter sliding in the center of the ring. Another punch between each of them as Baxter gives another punch over to Lenny. Both of them down 2 punches. Both boxers get another even punch in as Lenny tries to deal back in, and Baxter baits it in. Lenny punches in the air. 2-1 for Baxter.
It's a seesaw battle. I should know because when I was doing seesaws when I was little, there was nobody else I could play seesaw with, so I was just constantly on the ground. Anyways, enough flashback. That was a good matchup. These guys are just so evenly distributed in terms of skill in that ring. Both boxers not letting up, no matter whatever happens. They are just going to go full out aggressive style play, even fighting. No missed punches, and that's why these guys are locked in to a very close match.
Comfy Len trying to force it to the final round as he stares down Baxter. Baxter trying to be more aggressive. Comfy Len gets the punch in. Baxter evenly deals it back. Same thing for the second punch. Third punch. Baxter swings it in. Comfy Len trying to get an advantage. Baxter! 3-1. Baxter is headed to the Super Semis for the first time in Season 10.
And what a monkey off of that back in Bright Boy. Don't you think about changing that monkey costume. What a good effort by Bax defeating Comfy Len. And unfortunately, Fedora, I hate to say it, but Comfy Len loses another match in the second round. Unfortunate. However, the win goes to Bax. And as Bax says in the chat, I keep reaching for greatness because I'm built from it. Here we go. You could tell He wouldn't say that if he wasn't wearing his King outfit because King Bax is in little. I have a rivalry with King Bax. Not with Bax, but King Baxter. Don't like King Baxter. But nonetheless, King Bax. Oh no. Since where is he? I'm in the sky. I'm a god, really. I'm a god right now. I can't. Just get off the ropes. It's not your time. Get out. Anyways,
Baxter.
Good matchup. Really, honestly, really good matchup between these two.
Start out with the warm-up rounds
Yeah.
for Metro and Mr. Dizzy, the Franco-Swiss man who always who is Wario at home, as his Steam name says, and Metro, who is looking for his first tournament win in his career with the NHBL. It's a close matchup between these two, and with Mr. Dizzy, he was on the backup rosters in Season 10, lost in the backyard brawl to Baxter in the first round, and then lost in the quarterfinals against Bright Boy 3-2. Came around and a 2-0 sweep of TD the Paradox. He's looking dangerous going against Metro.
He does, and you know what? Metro had a good showing here against his opponents here tonight as well, and then against like Oni and Oni might be a newer boxer, but still, to get him to this point, you just need to get out of that first round, right? Get that out of the first round, get into the second, keep moving on, go up against someone like Mr. Dizzy, two French guys in the ring doing what French guys do, punching. So, really good. Oh, Spogo's not the Oh, right. So yeah, it's gonna be a really good matchup between these two, and honestly, as you see these guys kind of trying to jump a little bit as well. So yeah, and Master Dizzy, I mean, he's been good. Metro's been always been good. Both boxers definitely deserving to make it to the next round. Well, both these guys, really, in my opinion, definitely deserve to be in the semifinals. But as you know, only one can move on, and as shameful as it is, we'll have to see how it plays out, because the winner of this match also goes up against Angus Beef. So, and Angus Beef is 5-0 in this tournament. So crazy. It's full of. I want to say it's almost full of upsets. There's a lot of matches who we probably expected one person to win, but they didn't. So really good tournament here that we're seeing tonight.
Okay, alright. Hello! At a best of 5, first to 3. Good luck, both boxers. Did I skip a warm-up? I believe I did then. Whoops. One more warm-up, it seems.
Even the brightest of minds make the simplest of mistakes with that warm-up there, and I was about to say, Sims, I think we're going to have to give you a security escort out of the stadium, since you just insulted 3 of our French members and server with that. So we're going to have to...
You're lucky Bakwa from French isn't here. I like Bakwa. Don't get me wrong. I love Bakwa. But yeah,
anytime you call him Bakwa from French, you're just insulting them even more. Like, we're going to have to get you a security escort.
I looked at a globe earlier, and I saw French. I saw French on there, and people just think I'm just nuts. Okay, me in this bucket. Okay, listen, whatever. Listen, me and the bucket go on forever. Okay, and by the way, quick shout out to the Bucket Squad who are doing a live watch party. Thank you guys for your support. As we always love our support on Twitch as well. So yeah, don't come at me with me being crazy or not. I'll throw my bucket at you. I do want that bucket back, of course.
Then here's your bucket right here.
Rachel, quiet.
I think that's a garbage can instead of a bucket. I think those are two different things. But 3 out of 5 between the Franco-Swiss man and the French man. As Metro, a punch in there. That looked weird on my end as the punch registered there for Master Dizzy, as both of them get their hits in. Another punch by Metro with the jump process. Punch in, and Dizzy takes the first round. And that was interesting, to say the least.
Yeah. What else should I say? I mean, there was a lot of fighting. There was boxing, and Master Dizzy. You know what I think it is? Honestly, what I think it is? It's that hat. It's that Wario hat. Listen. I don't know if anybody's played Super Mario 64 on the DS or whatever it's called. Wario's just very scary. You up close, and yeah, I'm getting flashback. Please take it away. I'm having flashbacks.
So round 2, as both of them just start out jumping again, trying to get closer in, and again, working out the glutes. Both of them get the punches in. Dizzy's got the advantage. Metro tries to get it back in, and Dizzy takes a 2-0 advantage.
And he cornered Metro up to the ropes at the end there. And when you get up to the ropes at that point of the match where you're down so low, it's just, no matter how much you exercise your glutes, you're not going to get out of the rope there that quick, no matter who you are. And 2-0 for Dizzy. Dizzy has a chance to totally sweep Metro here in this one. And, you know, it's going to be a... Oh, my dog just... I don't know if you heard that on stream. My dog just, like, barked a little bit. But excuse me for that. She's excited, too. She loves watching a good boxing match, as so everyone else that's here tonight. So, good matchup. Dizzy has a chance to have a sweep in this one.
Round 3, Dizzy leads 2-0 as Metro tries to jump around, but Dizzy takes the advantage. Hook, and only one punch given away. Wario time indeed, as Dizzy will collide with Angus Beef tomorrow night.
And you're going to think about how tough this matchup is going to be. Mr. Dizzy, as well as Angus Beef, both of them has not lost a round in this tournament. So it's got a complete 5-0 shot between both of these boxers heading into tomorrow. I don't think my heart is beating out on my chest because that is some exciting stuff as I can't pronounce my syllables. Fedora, help me.
Congratulations, so Dizzy is the only European boxer remaining in this tournament, and it'll be interesting to see how he collides with Angus Beef. And you're right, whoever wins the first round will deal the first round loss to the other boxer in the semis tomorrow night. We got one more match ahead for you between Rage Will and Meh. You saw that amazing upset that Meh and Rage Will both pull up. Both of them the same score, 2-1, and both of them reverse sweeps. They were down 1-0, then won 2-1. So this could be a clash for the Titans.
Yeah, and both boxers have been so good as of late. Rage Will, as we know, has been so good as Matt is.
You got a word for that?
It's called stalling. No, Matt, the Fight Night champion, going up against the former Fight Night champion in Rage. I am ignoring anything Rachel says because I just don't care. And both boxers are going to go up in the warm-up rounds. These boxers are both really good. Rachel can give Matt a run for his money. Matt can give Rachel a run for his money. This is going to be an even matchup. You see Rachel taking the advantage over in this warm-up round. Two really good boxers. As we mentioned earlier in this event here tonight, man with an awesome rookie start into his major circuit career, albeit the last one, unfortunately, but definitely setting the tables here, putting a foundation of something very promising for him in the future when NHBL closes down and there will be other boxing leagues in the future. So, I mean, really good for him and Rageville as well. I mean, he's been good with his new computer. It's almost like another fresh of breath air for him. Breath of fresh air, not fresh of breath air.
Fresh of breath air, a new sensei.
I hope Brands puts that in the highlights.
A lot of good highlights that have come from tonight and such. So, as
I'm being called stinky.
Okay, whoever's calling Rage Will stinky, we have to clarify. He is smelly. There is a difference. He is the smelly. No, I stink. There's a difference. There's the stink.
You're calling the owner of NHBL smelly? I'll have you know that I'm sitting next to him, metaphorically speaking, on my computer.
Yeah, and your bucket.
I'm sitting next to him, and I'm smelling him, and he smells like lilacs, actually. That's
lilacs?
Yeah, I don't know what you've been. It smells good.
Old Spice swagger. Your nose broke. You need a new one, man.
I have to make nosebleeds. I can't smell you.
Yeah,
this.
Yeah.
The first time you met me in person, I had a bloody nose.
Yeah.
This happens.
Yeah, we gotta get rhinoplasty is what that surgery's called. We gotta get you a new nose. Old one broke.
Gorilla
Need
glue.
a new one.
No,
Gorilla Glue would make it worse.
Every one of you. No, it would stop.
No,
the blood.
No, it would stop the blood, but you'd be huffing Gorilla Glue, and you're not supposed to huff. You're not supposed to huff glue. so he'd do that with the Gorilla Glue.
I have paint at work. It don't matter. I'm past that point.
You may begin.
Looks like Deku had a quick release as Rage will get the punches there. And with the punches away, one down for each. Matt trying to get it in, and Matt backs him into the corner. That same strategy that worked at the fisticuffs works for him in the first round.
And man, pulling out the McQuaw, the evil twin brother of Bukwa, from French, and he does it well. We only have 1-0, and I do want to mention, Deku, if you want to fight the ropes, you can. I mean, we could set up something with Fight Night for you. It'd be a good, I mean, I don't know if it'd be a main event match, but I mean, we could set something up for you, Deku, if you really like. I mean,
I don't want to fight the ropes. The ropes want to fight me.
it's a domestic situation. I'll get the other for that one.
Rage Will and Matt, a one-round advantage for Matt. Rage Will trying to get the punches in, getting a little bit of advantage there, but Matt says no advantage for you. 2-0 lead.
How quick that was for Matt. I mean, that is really super quick. We saw in the last tournament how he kind of a really passive style put himself in the corner. We haven't seen that this tournament. That just shows you how determined Matt is to use different strategies. You can't pick out his strategies. He will do something different each and every time, and that's why he is holding the Fight Night Championship gold around his waist. And maybe, just maybe, with this momentum, possibly hold the Sasha Heavyweight Championship at the end of the season. He's looking like a champion that could do it.
Whoa, gentlemen.
Got some action down here. Extracurricular
Started
activity.
yet, and it's already getting crazy out here.
Rage Will has to do a reverse sweep. We've seen things like that happen before, but he's got an uphill battle to climb. Matt has the advantage. Punch in for both. Rage Will trying to get aggressive. 2-1, just like that. Rage Will keeps his hopes alive to get to the semis.
Hold the phone. Hold it. Here. Hold. Oh wait, I'm handing this to my dog.
Hello?
Hold the phone. Rage Will is keeping at it in this one. It's 2-1. We might see a reverse. Not going to say it because I don't want to jinx. I've already learned my lesson before. And it's 2-1 between these two. Very competitive matchup. Rage Will still in this one. 2-1.
2-1. Rage Will trying to force it to a tie-breaking round. Rage Will gets the first punch in, backing Matt into the corner, trying to get his punches dealt there. Goes back, and another punch. 2-2. It's 2. Oh, potential heartbreaker as we headed to the 5th round.
Definitely the last match of the night between all these boxers. It's just been so good, and of course we have to finish it off with a nail biter in this one. Rage Will, man, Rage Will is definitely, and you can see, I don't know if you can catch it on camera, but he is taunting with the fans up in the stands there, with some of the staff members and other boxers. So Rage Will is definitely liking this moment as Matt is taking his time coming out here. He said he can't hear us, so I guess we can kind of talk bad about him, but I'm not going to because he's actually a good person. We'll talk bad. It's 2-2, match point, final match.
The final round of the final match of the night. Both boxers even. 2 punches off. Will it be Rage Will or Matt heading against Baxter in the super semis? Punch in by Matt. Rage Will knows what he has to do. Trying to be conservative. Getting the punches. They went stuck into each other. I know that they can call a dispute on that or a review because I even saw that.
Dispute.
As of now,
Come on.
as of now,
We're not even going through a commercial break. We're doing
I
that.
was just about to say, do we even need to have like a whole-on thing
We
for that?
just
They
straight up glitched.
fused. They
that
fused.
when even the stream camera sees that, yep, they were stuck within each other. That's haha, source engine.
Somebody
That's
picked up my
unfortunate.
Gorilla Glue from my nose and put it in the match. Can you believe that?
It's
Incredible.
sticky.
What a yes, so redo on that one, and it's still match point for either of these boxers.
A lucky break for Rage Will because he was down 2 punches on that, but even punch for both. Rage Will trying to deal it in, get the punches in. He takes it! Rage Will with the reverse sweep is headed against Baxter in the super semis.
Dispute by Matt! Dispute
Oh,
by
another
another dispute!
So even though the last match was clearly obvious, not even going to commercial, Matt is going to dispute it. Right now it's 3-2, and it'll be interesting to see what Met is going to dispute here.
It looks like to be hit reg on those last few punches.
I went back and watched the footage and can confirm that some of the hits landed, but none of the health went through, or none of the damage went through. So it was error. We're redoing the round.
Matt knows what the super semis feels like. Ragewell has not gotten to that point. Does he have a vintage moment in him? Ragewell trying to get advantage. He's up there, and yes! Ragewell is headed to the super semis unless we have another dispute. But Ragewell
don't get him
in the super semis tomorrow night.
Wow, incredible. So Ragewell does it, makes it, and an intriguing matchup going in as a reverse sweep. Incredible stuff by Ragewell, the Fight Night champion, going on down. But however, the next matchup tomorrow night, backs against Ragewell, and these guys definitely have history. So good matchup there.
Can we get a thing with me and Bax, like a little face-off thing?
He's asking for a stare down like Clayface does. All right, if you guys want to do it, I got the camera. Well, never mind. I guess Baxter's not wanting to do.
Well, then.
It's time for the round robin of this tournament as to determine who takes that final playoff spot in the NHBL Finals. Again, Metro and Mr. Dizzy, because they advanced to the quarterfinals, and the remaining 6 boxers out of the total 8 who made it to the quarterfinals, they were already qualified for the playoffs from previous tournaments. So now it's time for the round robin format as we start out the match with Luna Raven and Oni. And the round robin begins between Oni and Luna Raven. A punch swung around by Luna Raven. He's got a little bit of an advantage trying to get it here. Swing as Luna Raven's hitting in the air, trying to find it in. Is he going to take a clean one? Oni with the jumping punch. Luna Raven with a 1-0 advantage. Exactly the start that he needed a month ago in the fisticuffs. Couldn't get it there, but now Luna Raven is up 1-0.
It's good for Luna Raven to get that 1-0 victory so far in this round robin. Of course, Oni now down in a little bit of a hole here. He has an ability to try to tie it up in the standings when the end shows. So we'll have to see how the rest goes. But good match for Luna Raven.
So Penguineer and Oni. Penguineer trying to flex his Huar as he gets the first punch in. Oni trying to deal it back. He gets it a little bit even as he gets another punch in. And Oni takes it. He's now 1-1. Penguineer is down. And we might have, for the first time, a 1-1 tie scenario, depending on what Penguineer can do against Luna Raven.
Yeah, so up next will be Penguineer and Luna Raven. And yeah, like you said, it'd be a weird, interesting situation of how that plays out with the scoring. But yeah, what a competitive match that was. There was a lot of even punches there. No really missed punches either. So, I mean, good little bout for Oni. I think that's what he kind of need. Obviously, that's what he needed to stay in there. But a good match all around as Penguineer faces Luna Raven.
Does the round robin get extended, or does Luna Raven take that last slot in the playoffs? A punch in evenly by both as Luna Raven tries to be conservative there. A little bit more aggressive by Penguineer. And Luna Raven has qualified for the NHBL Finals 2-0. He couldn't get it in the fisticuffs, and Luna Raven is headed to the playoffs.
Yeah, it's good for Luna Raven. I know he's been kind of a little down on himself, but now this is a way that he can kind of celebrate. Maybe getting a good spirits when the finals comes around, and a big moment for Luna Raven as he heads into the finals, so well done for him.
Mr. Dizzy and Angus Beef. We talked about it from yesterday. Both these boxers colliding here. No rounds dropped from either of them, and I believe I saw earlier Russian could have gone undefeated when he did that 6-0 sweep in the final against Bright Boy. You'd have to look back on the stats on that. And I'm sure that it possibly happened in some other tournament cases. But at least in recent memory, right now, to this point, we can't think of anybody else who's accomplished that feat because it's so rare, especially with how closely knit the first round was best 2 out of 3s and the intensity and everything. So for Angus Beef and Dizzy to have that accomplishment getting up to this point, it really is something special.
It is, especially for both of these boxers. Obviously, Mr. Dizzy's been around for a while, not really a true active boxer as of late. But for the fact for Angus Beef, like I said, he has an opportunity to head back to the finals, and I think that's what ultimately he's obviously trying to go for. But for him, I think that'd be special because he's only been boxing for less than a year. I mean, he hasn't been boxing for a whole long time. Or if it was, or yeah, it has been less than a year. I think where he's actually going up to his 1 year mark here in like a month or two. So yeah, so it's really big for Angus Beef, especially at this stage, for him to get this far once again this season. So like I said, he went up to the finals against Russian Bear at the beginning of the season, which was shocking for a lot of people. So it's going to be a good match between these two, different kind of styles, and like we said, the big thing in this tournament is the jumping. You're allowed to jump in this tournament. And we didn't really see it pay off too much last night. We've seen a couple of different ways boxers could use that move, but I don't think we've seen it to its full potential yet. Might be able to see that in this match because both guys are definitely like to mix it up in the ring.
Yeah, the mix-up strategy has helped them fairly well, especially with the way they swept their opponents, and especially with Angus Beef against Bright Boy. Who would have thought he wouldn't even drop one round against the Peruvian star? But it looks like we got another warm-up round here. But who would have even thought, with how amazing Bright Boy has been in the several tournament wins he has, and as you mentioned last night, the permanent defending Natasha heavyweight champion, for him to not be able to get a round win against Angus Beef, it's tough, but it's also pretty incredible to see how Angus Beef pull it off.
Yeah, and the Peruvian noodle arm boy, whatever you want to call him. Yeah, couldn't get it done against Angus Beef, but Pete, you can't sleep on these on Angus Beef, and you can't sleep on Mr. Dizzy either. Two guys. I think when you look at the right hand side of the bracket and you look at where they were positioned in the bracket, you might. Thank you.
I tell you, man.
It's Wario and Waluigi.
Oh
my goodness. Oh no. There's now a black hole heading into the commentators' booth, ladies and gentlemen.
I just hope that Skeldo Spook is able to keep this under control.
Let's see.
Only so much you can do with that, and the Super Semis have begun for the Wario brothers and the Battle Royale, as both of them just jumping in their corners. A swing and a miss, and the first punch dealt by Angus Beef gets an advantage up. Angus Beef trying to swing in there. Corners the man himself, and it's a 1-0 advantage for Angus Beef.
1-0 for Angus Beef, but there was some good dodging by Angus Beef. He kind of baited Mr. Dizzy towards the end there. Mr. Dizzy was not able to get his hits in, and that I don't know. Apparently, I have to give him a commentator application real quick. Hold on, let me grab my paper here. Yeah. So I think this is obviously it's entertaining. It's entertaining in terms of boxing, but it's entertaining because, well, I mean, look at them. I mean, come on now.
Bell goes off, a 1-0 advantage for Angus Beef, and just a stare down between the Wario brothers. I tell you, we've seen this kind of thing happen before, where both boxers are trying to stare into each other's soul. Doesn't result in any advantage as the punches get thrown there. And what a dodge by Angus Beef last second. 2-0 advantage.
Yeah, that was really good. It looks to be a dispute by Dizzy. So we're going to have to see what that dispute was.
Yeah, they're going to clip it here and see what he's disputing in that. He's saying, the confusion, we had this happen before. When Spogo says clipping, it means he's clipping the Twitch stream. But Master Dizzy is saying that he's disputing clipping. So I guess maybe he means teleporting on that, or possibly hit registration. I'm not sure what he's trying to go off there.
In the clip, Dizzy basically missed the punch. So the dispute is revoked.
It's a 2-0 advantage for Angus Beef as Dizzy trying to get back into this and make it even instead of out of control. As a little spin move there from Angus Beef and from Dizzy as both of them just stare each other down. One of them's got to go forward and punch eventually, and it's going to be Dizzy who gets the punch in and baits in Angus Beef there, tries to deal another one in, and Dizzy, the baiting worked. It's a 2-1 lead for Angus Beef.
Yeah, so Angus Beef, he's still up by 1, but Mr. Dizzy coming back into this one, going to tie it up for next round. So that dispute though, it was pretty quick determination by the refs. But you gotta think Mr. Dizzy now is gonna be kind of a little bit more on his toes now, knowing that now he has one less dispute to use. So that means he has to play a little bit more clean. Have a clean matchup going forward.
Dizzy makes it a little bit more close with that victory, and now a 2-1 advantage for Angus Beef. Again, they both circle around the ring, just staying more slowly. And first punch dealt evenly by both, trying to get the hook punches in. Comes down to the last one, and Dizzy not allowing the spin move to get the better of him. It's tied up at 2 each.
Yeah, so it's 2-2 now. So now, it's obviously it was best of 4 out of 7. Now it's we have to win. Both Bucks have to win 2 each now. So it's like starting a brand new game over. So pretty good matchup by Dizzy. Able to come in clutch when he needs to be, and at this stage you kind of have to be clutch. And like I said, go in the distance. These guys didn't have a round loss going into this, and now they both have a 2 loss each.
I just want to point out for the audience, Angus Beef said, "Well, hell yeah," and Dizzy said, "Well, yo, yeah," as their confirmations that they were ready. I mean, you got to give it to them for being consistent with their characters. First punch is a swing and a miss, and it's dealt in by Dizzy as both of them punch there. And with that quick, tightly knit contest, Dizzy takes the advantage 3-2.
Yeah, and that was pretty close there. Obviously, Dizzy getting 3 unanswered victories now. That was really going to. I thought that Angus Beef probably should have been a little bit more close, close to in that matchup. But nonetheless, 3-2 and a very tough round where they literally did not give any room to each other. Just aggressive both ends in the middle of that ring. So 3-2, Dizzy leads this.
Match point for Dizzy. Can Angus Beef force it to the final round? Angus getting the punches in, going more aggressive on his style, trying to get the pressure onto Dizzy. They keep calling at each other, come on, come on. Not working as they both are more hesitant around the center of the ring. Beef in his corner, trying to bait him in, but it's not working. Dizzy trying to do the same thing. They're just having a shouting match going back and forth. Dizzy getting the punch in. The final one missed the punch there. It's down to the wire as both Angus Beef and Dizzy hesitate. Dizzy! Sweep is complete. 4-2. Dizzy is headed to the final.
What an amazing matchup. Amazing round, I should say. It may be. Maybe. We're waiting for the confirmation as timer is starting to go out.
Well, there's no time. There is no timer on it. It's that he can dispute or not. So Angus is debating it.
I don't know. Well, I'm just gonna move. We're just gonna talk like there is no dispute and say that Mr. Dizzy, he did a very good job in that matchup, that whole entire matchup, and gave Angus no room. He cornered him in. Angus tried to bait him in, and did not work. So good job for Dizzy in moving on to the finals.
Are we clear, Brand? Is this another AFK situation? Let me check on Twitch.
Yeah, let's go check the stream real quick.
Let's check on Twitch.
He's
AFK.
He's AFK. No.
Well, you would think that the lesson would be learned from the first time. From the first time that this happened. I hope it was. I'm sure it was an emergency. We love Brand Flakes. All the best to him, of course. But he probably
got pulled away to eat.
Yeah, more than likely around this time he's AFK. So you know what? We're just gonna go through it. We'll make sure to get our sponsors double attention once Brand comes back. So let's go ahead into the next match. So we have Rage Will and Baxter colliding here for the other semifinal as they're about to have their warm-up round and underway here. And,
the NHBL is proud to be an affiliate community of Steam Rep in the fight
pulled
against
off the upset in the first round against Russian Bear. First time he lost in the round of 16. Hey, Brand perfectly came back. Looks like I'll
he's
get the
back!
commercial in a little bit later. So, Brand Flakes, we love you. The match finished. The other one finished. It was a reverse sweep.
Let's waste it.
We always do after the first semi, my friend. Man, he's been out of the loop for a while. We're just going forward with the warm-up rounds. It's fine. We'll get the commercial break after this. So we all love Brand Flakes. You know how everyone loves Raymond? Everybody loves Brand Flakes. So, as we were saying, 2-1 victory over Russian Bear, and that was the upset of the tournament, as most people have regarded to. Rage Will against Fluffy Teddy Bear 2-1. That was also one of the upsets of the tournament that most people regard to. So when you had those two boxers in the quarterfinal for the upsetters trying to upset each other, it just set up for an incredible stage. And Rage Will exiting that corner of the bracket, it's pretty incredible what he accomplished.
Yeah, it is, and really for both of these boxers, it's incredible where they, where they came from last year and the year before that to where they're at now. Is really good to see. It's really awesome to see both these boxers do well. Obviously, Bax knows Rage Will very well, like I said at the top of the broadcast. And although our lights are a little bit darker at Fight Night Feds, the action is still as bright as ever, and Rage Will and Bax are definitely the shining brights of Fight Night because these guys know how to wrestle and tussle and fight and punch their way to victory. And it's a shame that both of these boxers will not be, one of these boxers will be going home early, but one will be going to the finals for their first time in their careers. And you know what? Whoever wins, really, I mean, is definitely a testament to both of how far these guys come.
Rage Will a little bit jumpy from the gun, but away we go in the semifinal. Rage Will, the more aggressive one, trying to get the punches in on Baxter, and he hesitated a little bit, could have pinned him to the corner, but Baxter knew what he was doing, took the first round easily.
And like you said, Bax knew what he was doing, and you have to think he knows what he's doing. I mean, Bax helped oversee Rage Will when Rage Will first came into NHBL. Bax knows Rage Will a lot more better than I think Rage Will actually gives him credit for. And you know what? Bax is using that to his advantage. It is 1-0 for the Baxinator. Yes, I just made that name up. Bax is probably unhappy about it, but that's okay. It's funny. Oh, he likes it? Oh, that's good. That's good.
Round 2. The advantage for Baxter. Again, the aggression from both of them is incredible, just wanting to get this match over with. But Rage Will, only taking about 2 or 3 hits, deals it evenly back to Baxter.
Yeah, it's that even boxing that we've come to see with these two boxing against each other. Like I said, Rage Will probably has a little bit of vendetta against Bax for Bax taking away his Fight Night Championship after only holding it for about a week, or about 2 weeks, I should say, wherever the date may be. But you know what? Good for Rachel to get back into this. It's all tied up 1-1 between these two.
And now an even 1-1 for each of these boxers. Punches thrown. Baxter cornered. Rage Will keeping him on the ropes.
Wow.
Baxter does not let that change the outcome. He leads it 2-1.
This whole match is going quick action in the ring. And Bax was a little bit towards his corner there. He didn't go up too aggressive in that one that we've come to see from him. But nonetheless, he still got the victory of Rage Roll. And once again, the seesaw battle continues as now Bax regains the lead.
And with an advantage like that, it's pretty incredible to see how he's going to go down the stretch. The aggression again as Rage Will hook, punch, easy, tied 2-2.
Wow, these guys. Just an even matchup here between these two. A good little matchup here in the semifinals here at the Vatican City Superdome. What an opportunity that Bax kind of let up Rage Will getting that last punch in. Very crucial for him. I think he only had 1 or 2 hits remaining. So, I mean, good for Rage Will to stay into this one. He ties it up yet again. We'll have to see next round if he be able to gain the lead in this one for the first time.
It just goes back and forth with each of these guys. The question is who's going to come out on top, as Rage Will missed a punch there and Baxter capitalized on it. A punch dealt back by evenly. Rage Will has to dodge here.
Man.
Not able to, and Baxter with 2 punches to give. He's on match point, and this might go to the final round as well.
If the pattern continues, it will. As Bax once again gets a lead here, and that missed punch at the beginning of the match said it all right there. As soon as he missed, I think Ragel kind of knew what the outcome was, and he kind of played back. And you know what? It's kind of a safe strategy, but Ragel did not come out of that one as the winner, and he has to this one as it's match point for Bax.
Does the trend continue? Does Rage will force the final round? He's got the aggression and trying to get the punches in. The pressure's on. Rage will trying to get a punch in.
Oh my!
It's down to the final blow. Who's gonna get it here? The hesitation from Ragewell and Baxter. Baxter's headed to the final.
Bax glocked him, and Bax is heading to the finals for the first time. And you know he's pumped. You know he's pumped. He said going into this tournament, I'm gonna beat everybody up, and I'm gonna come into this tournament and win everything and win the entire thing. And that's what Bax is on path on doing. What a great match for Ragewell, but you can't fault Ragewell. What a good showing for him throughout this entire tournament. Losing the Bax, that's not a bad thing in my opinion. That, you know, it is what it is. And as you can see, they're kind of exchanging pleasantries here. Like I said, Ragewell credits Bax for his debut here in NHBL, and you know that they have definitely a good relationship together with each other, which is awesome to see. But Bax going to the finals.
Battle Royale final as Sin Synergy over there gives attention to his doggos, Tempest and Tiki.
He's such a good dog.
Baxter is trying to bring attention to himself as BK Baxter Kong. So, you know, trying to get some intimidation over to the Dizzy man. And this final, again, we mentioned it in the opening, whoever wins this tournament is definitely deserving of it. And with how close of a win Baxter had against Ragewell and how close Dizzy had a win against Angus Beef with the reverse sweep and everything, this is a match for the ages in the making.
Yeah, this is going to be a good one. I don't think people expected Mr. Dizzy to be on the finals, being that he was on the backup roster anyway. So really cool to see somebody on the backups go into the finals. A lot of people thought Bax could go to the finals, and here he is. He's at the finals, albeit wearing a monkey costume. But you know what? We don't like to judge. I mean, I do, but not out publicly. He actually, you know what I noticed? You know what I noticed? He actually has a Yeti stuff, but he doesn't have the feet. He just has the head and the arms. But
the Yeti is contained. It's contained to those shoes somehow. He's the he has the tie for Donkey Kong though. Yeah.
Yeah, you know what? That does check out, Fedora. Yeah, my cognitive experience of detective work. I don't know what I said there. Listen, We've
been calling almost 3 hours worth of heavy boxing.
It's a lot of good boxing. Let me say that there really hasn't been one match that was bad. There's been a really good action there, a lot of really good boxes, a lot of good stories, a lot of good upsets, a lot of good of everything. And you know what? This is the finals, and I'm happy to call it. So.
The final begins for the Scrap TF Battle Royale. Baxter aggressive out of the corner, but Dizzy gets the first punch in. Several punches, swing and a miss to the right and left, and it's Dizzy who takes the first round.
Wow, so one win for Dizzy as it takes that one, but if it shows like how we've seen the rest of the night, it could be a back and forth affair. And you know what? I wouldn't expect anything less from these two boxers. Pretty good match for both of them. Pretty there, and it's a good way to start off the round, especially if you're Mr. Dizzy.
Round two. Again, the aggression from Baxter. Dizzy just being more hesitant, and it rewards him to get that first punch in, but Baxter deals another punch back. He's trying to keep the aggression on for Dizzy, circling around the logo. Baxter in the center, trying to swing and a miss, trying to get some punches in, and 1-1. The score tied now. Baxter mentioning earlier that it was funny hit reg. The funny hit reg works in his favor that time.
Yeah, and Waluigi, his brother, is upset over Wario's or Mr. Dizzy's matchup there, and it ties up 1-1 now. So once again, we're seeing that back and forth affair like we've been seeing all night.
Tied evenly as the punch is being thrown to both, even at the center of the ring. Dizzy going with the aggression this time, just wailing punches. Baxter hesitated. He went back to the corner, avoided the punch, dealt back in, and a 2-1 advantage for Baxter Kong.
I thought Dizzy was going to, with that aggressiveness by Dizzy, it looked like he had a strong footing in that one, but Bax stuck his ground and was able to make it 2-1. So good job for Bax to stay into that one because it looked like Dizzy had a really good advantage from the aggressive style he had. So it's 2-1 for Bax as he leads this one.
Dizzy trying to keep it dead even. He goes the aggressive style this time. He's just wailing punches back. Misses one there, but Baxter misses again. Both of them trying to get their punches in. An aggression style there. And Dizzy, with one punch to give, ties it up.
Yeah, and it's now a tied game between these two. As you see that they are, once again, that aggressive style of Dizzy, it finally paid off in this round. He knew that he was just 1 hit away the last round. And he was like, you know what? I'm going to do the same strategy. And it worked this time around. And now it's 2-2 out of this strong contest between these two. A really good matchup we're seeing.
With this being tied up at 2 each, it's essentially 4 out of 7 now, as both of them get the even punches in. Baxter taking the advantage. The more aggressive style pays off. 2 punches left to give. Baxter leads at 3-2.
Yeah, and that was a really good aggressive one by Bax. He's starting to show his aggressive style against Dizzy right now. So 3-2, obviously best 5 out of 9 or 6. It's wait. Is it 5 out of 9? What? Why?
It is 6 out of 11.
6 out of 11. Sorry, I literally had a brain spasm here. I was looking at notes, but it was the wrong side. Listen, I got a whole crap ton of things on my phone, and I looked the wrong thing. I'm like, that doesn't sound right.
Looked at the
good
bucket
match.
Notes again.
Let me go grab it real quick. Be right back.
3-2 advantage for Baxter. Again, both of them had the same aggression from the corner as both of them get the punches in. Down to the final one, and a missed punch by Dizzy. And Baxter takes the biggest lead he's had during this final.
All right, I'm back. So basically what I got on my bucket notes here is that who erased my notes off my bucket? Who did this? Was it you, Bax? Bax makes it 4-2. Good match for him. I'm upset. Someone erased my notes off my bucket. First of all, somebody touched my bucket. First of all,
I muted myself, so I was like yelling dispute for like half a minute. But yeah,
sorry, dispute. Yes. Sorry, I'm just distraught right now.
Dizzy given a dispute for hit registration. So
after evidence review of the dispute, I will have to revoke it. Master Dizzy missed his last hit. We will keep going with the current points.
Baxter remains with a 4-2 advantage. Really aggressive out of the gate. He tries to go back and hesitate there. The same with Dizzy, just trying to stare him down. First punch dealt evenly by both. Baxter trying to get the punches in. A swing and a miss by Dizzy. Baxter hesitates. Punch, and 5-2. Baxter is 1 round away from taking his first major circuit victory.
And, you know, they ain't no... I have to say, Bax's way that he dodges, there isn't no luck. There isn't no, well, he almost had him, or like we've seen, hit reg disputes. But from what Bax did in that ring, the way he dodged that last hit so he can counter that punch was the best thing that Bax could have done in that situation. And he was the only thing he could have done in that situation. He's now at 5-2. It's match point.
The regular season finale could come down to this, and a perfect call to do it if it goes the appropriate way. But can Dizzy force the final round? The punches by both. Dizzy in a swing and a miss. Baxter has got him on the ropes as Dizzy tries to get a swing there. Punch missed it for the...
Hey!
himself, Baxter, to quote him when he called it for Lock Trap seasons ago, in the greatest win of his young career, Baxter takes his first major circuit tournament victory.
What a moment for Bax, as you see a couple of other boxers in the ring. Boxers that Bax has helped alongside on his way to this moment. Luna Raven in the ring, Ragewell in the ring, Angus Beef coming in from Fight Night. What an amazing moment for Bax here. A culmination of everything that he's worked for up to this point, from staff up to boxer. Now Mr. Dizzy getting into the fray here. What a good moment here as the first place winner goes to Baxter.
I could not think of a better way to conclude the regular season history of the National Heavy Boxing League than with the way we saw it tonight. 4 heavy boxers coming into tonight who had not had a single tournament win in their history. And it's a testament to Fight Night and everything that has been accomplished, and we'll get to that in just a moment. But as we mentioned, the boxers in this tournament who qualified for the playoffs, Mr. Dizzy, Metro, and then Luna Raven by winning the round-robin scenario. So congratulations to those 3 on taking the last slots in the NHBL Finals. In fourth place, we have Ragewell with a total of 7 rounds won and 7 rounds lost. So Ragewell, you pulled off one of the amazing upsets in this tournament with beating Fluffy Teddy Bear 2-1 and then beating Meh 3-2. Not necessarily the results you wanted, but the sportsmanship you showed between Baxter in that super semi was incredible. So congratulations to you. You already qualified for the playoffs, so we're excited to see how you perform going into June. In third place, with not a single round dropped in the first several rounds, with a total win-loss record of 7-4, Angus Beef in third place. And the matches you pulled off: a 2-0 sweep of Danger Boy, a 3-0 sweep of Bright Boy, and not the result you wanted in the super semis, but the Wario Brothers bit was absolutely entertaining. So congratulations to you. You're in the playoffs as well. Excited to see your performance as well. And second place to Mr. Dizzy with his record: a 2-0 sweep of TD the Paradox, a 3-0 sweep of Metro, 4-2 victory over Angus Beef, and then only falling 4 rounds short of getting your first tournament win. Congratulations to you on qualifying for the playoffs in this tournament. Exciting to see how you'll perform going into the playoffs in June. Well, you helped lay the groundwork for Fight Night, Baxter, and get that started originally. You were able to box against several of the heavy boxers that you helped gain traction and get better and better at their craft. And now, after being a staff member for so many years and after 2 seasons, you could finally say that you are a tournament champion. And what a path to get there. 2-1 victory over Luna Raven, 3-1 against Comfy Len, a 4-2 victory against Ragewell, and then all culminating in your final victory against Mr. Dizzy, 6-2. I know Sins is going to ask some questions to you in a second, but this is a very proud moment, and I cannot think of a better way to conclude the regular season history of the NHBL other than a former staff member coming down into the boxing scene and working so incredibly hard to get his first tournament win. So, and of course, Luna Raven on stage, congratulations to you on getting the playoff spot in the round robin. I know you were down on yourself a lot going into that round robin and getting into this tournament, but congratulations to you on taking that last playoff spot. Congratulations to all 5 of you. Sins has got some questions for you, but congratulations.
All right, guys. Well, congratulations to all of our boxers here who have won tonight on this panel. We're going to start off with our 4th place winner, Ragewell. Ragewell, you beat out the odds a little bit in your first 2 rounds, even beating the Fight Night champion, Meh. And I know you have eyes on set to the Fight Night championship in the future or for a future championship after NHBL is done and dusted. So let me just ask you this. How excited you are for possibly your next chapter heading into the Fight Night scene and heading into the NHBL Finals?
Well, you see, Sins, I'm ready. But I want Baxter. I really do. I want this rematch of this season. Feds, make it happen, please. I beg you.
Well, maybe get to our the match selection, which I don't think we have a date for the match selection yet for the finals, but maybe, just maybe, you two will face off in the first round, and then you can say that we, or you could say that we rigged the tournament like you always do. Third place goes to Angus Beef. I like you, Rachel. You're all right. Angus Beef. Listen, Beef, you have come a long way from when you first started at Fight Night. You were just a guy who named himself after something you put on a what they call a cheeseburger. But now you're here, and you're on the stage once again. Now in 3rd place after a tournament. I have to say you had an entertaining matchup with Dizzy tonight. But of course, I kind of already know what you're gonna say. So let me just ask you this: what do you have to say about your tonight's match?
Why did we lose? Impossible! Oh, no! Oh, man. Next time.
It's alright, Waluigi. Yeah.
Time I cheat. Watch out for me.
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
Oh,
Jeez.
Yeah.
Thank you, Angus. Mr. Dizzy, I know I'm going to get somewhat of a similar reaction, but let me just say this. You were a backup boxer, and here you are into the second place, and not a lot of backup boxers have the ability to do that, but tonight you have this couple nights you have went up against the odds, and you're just a few rounds short of winning the whole thing. God help us. What do you think of your matchup tonight and how you did?
It wasn't the Wario time.
Was it really? Was it really the Warrior time? Really? It's enough for you to know about talking Warrior. Do you know how to actually talk about a real sentence instead of just saying your name back and forth? Let's try that again, shall we? Wario or Mr. Dizzy, how do you feel?
Wario.
Yes! Darn it! I just tossed my bucket over. God, congratulations, Mr. Dizzy, you pesky little fun little person. Franco Swiss. All right. But Bax, let's get all serious just real quick, because Bax, if I could hug you, I would. We go back a long time, as you know. We were bitter enemies. Now we're best friends. And maybe we're still bitter enemies, we just don't know it yet, but now we're best friends. Bax, you face Comfy Land for the millionth time. You faced up against here tonight with Mr. Dizzy, who you haven't faced in, well, ever. And if you notice, though, Bax, when you notice, Bax, though, everybody on this platform here started in Fight Night, or played in Fight Night at one form or another.
It's true.
For you to get into first place, Bax, from you going up to the being a staff to a boxer, obviously knowing what you went through and what you told me before the event, and I'm not going to say verbatim of what you said, but basically that this was like that you have to win this event. This was very important to you, and for that moment that we just saw a couple minutes ago of you in the ring with all the people that you helped get to this moment, how does this feel for you?
Well, you know something, I kind of gave a similar answer when I gave my going away speech at the Fisticuffs last tournament. I talked about don't let anybody get you down, right? Don't ever, 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 ever listen to the doubters. If you believe in yourself, and this is going to sound a little, what's the word? Cliche.
Cheesy.
Just bear with me on this. Look at what we've built here. You know what I'm saying? Look what we've did. Who thought that we could take a heavy boxing league relying on hit registration in Team Fortress 2, 12-year-old video game, and make it one of the most highly anticipated, exciting, fun esports in the entire game? People would have thought you were crazy, but we did it. Thanks to Fedora, thanks to Clayface, thanks to Usins, thanks to people like myself, and thanks to all the people behind me who have turned in every night, Friday nights, every night, Saturday night, Sunday night, Monday night, Tuesday night, trying to get better at heavy boxing. It's crazy what we've managed to do here. And it makes me so proud to see all these guys up here. And I will toot my own horn a little bit. I'm especially a little proud of myself, because who'd have thought, staff guy coming down to box for the last couple seasons, okay, he just wants to get this under the belt. But no, I believed from all my years watching in the booth, watching all the mistakes, the correct moves being made, I believed I could get here. And that's where I am. It took me a little while, but as my father always says, you want to play your best ball at the end of the season. That's when everything matters. That's what it all comes down to. Everything else before the big tournament, everything else before then, irrelevant. What matters is how you do in the big dance. And that's what I'm taking with me right now. I started out rough, yes, but in the year that I've won the Fight Night World Heavyweight Championship twice. I defeated Comfyland. I've beaten White Russian Bear, Bright Boy. I've main evented Boxing Mania, our biggest non-major event. I've just won my first tournament ever, which is pretty crazy. I'm on top of the world right now. The king is quite literally reigning. and I'm going to take this momentum. I'm going to walk in to the NHBL Finals, and I'm going to do the last thing that I need to do before I ride off into the sunset and embrace the pastures of the TFBA and the LPSS guys. My final thing. I'm walking out of here, Sasha Heavyweight Champion. I'm walking out the final one ever. And you can take that to the bank.
As part of Season 10, we give various heavy boxers, staff members, and community members the chance to give a thank you to the NHBL, to reflect on their time, what it's meant to them, and any special thank yous they have for certain people. And because of the commitments people gave before this situation happened, we allowed for this community member to give their speech even under the various circumstances that happened with. So on the VIP stage now, we're saying so long here from the Superdome from myself and Sins, but we hand it to the final word of the night goes to our Season 10 speaker for tonight, the Sasha Heavyweight Champion for Season 7 and Season 8, the only boxer to win it back-to-back in ice.
Hello, yes, it is me. I don't really have a script for this. I'm just gonna go from the heart. I found this place in Season 7. It was, to me, just something goofy. Then I got brought in pretty much last minute and made it to the finals and won. But that's not important. What is important is the memories that everyone gets from this place. Pretty much all of my both real life and online friends have somehow been connected back to this place. Yeah, I don't know what to say besides just this is a great place. The community is great. I've had a fun time here for the bit of time that I was here. This is a great community. This is amazing. Ha, he's dead. Anyways, this has been my speech. Great environment, great community. Now enjoy what's left of Season 10 and the NHBL.
As we mentioned almost every broadcast, Season 10 is a time to reflect, as with the Season 10 is the final season of the NHBL. We've given the opportunity to boxers, community members, staff members, former and current, to give a speech on what Season 10 has meant to them, how they reflect on their time being involved with the league, and any specific people they'd like to thank. And unfortunately, we're down to the stretch now of it is our administrative staff now who are giving their final reflections as we headed to the playoffs, as everyone else who wanted to give a reflection has concluded. So now we head into the stretch. We start with our first administrative staff member to give his speech. He was unable to be here in server on TM Fortress 2, but he is here on voice chat to give us his Season 10 speech. So on behalf of Sins and all the hardworking men and women that make the NHBL so successful and the Gentleman's Fedora, we're saying so long, but the final word goes to our notes man, Dan the Lions.
Wario Rockstar!
Take that as a yes. Hi everyone, my name is Dan the Lions, Senior Vice President of Broadcasting NHBL, and I've been a part of the for I want to say could be wrong, but I want to. Anywho, I'm mostly known as the notes guy. I started taking notes when I first commented. I want to say it was. I cannot remember. I'm probably cutting it ever so slightly. But I started taking notes when Baxter first, and I would take those notes to the events, try to make some things. But the NHBL has been a starting point for me in trying to build a possible esports commentator position myself. I've been involved in college level esports association. I'm trying to take over their social for that group. But all in all, this has been I feel bad that it's ending going. so much more and work with so many other people. Everyone here has been absolutely, and I couldn't expect a better something as and exciting as heavy box. But for one last time, I will take some, but I'll be taking notes elsewhere. Every so often, see the keybind, and you'll see asterisk takes asterisk elsewhere. Thank you.